A man attacked with a knife in this park, and the media said nothing about it. Why?
Why, Bob? Why?
I'll tell you why.
Tell us, Bob!
Because she was a Christian. My next topic, ladies and gentlemen,
What's your next topic, Bob Sila?
is the silence that was met by the attack that happened here last week
Hatun.
to Hatun.
Okay.
Not last week. How?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. How many of you heard about it first on the BBC?
Sorry, Bob, 3 weeks now.
3 weeks. How many of you heard about the attack on a Christian by a knife in this park last week on the BBC? Nobody. Did you hear about it in The Guardian? Nobody. Who heard about it through watching a YouTube video? Nearly everybody. Who's never heard of this a knife attack? This brother never heard of this a knife attack. No. Ladies and gentlemen,
Tell us, Bob.
let's just go over some of the known facts.
Okay.
A man attacked a woman in this park with a knife. He tried to kill her. He tried to stab her dead in this park. And the media did not report about it.
Only a few, Only Daily Mail.
No! Remember when that police officer killed the woman and the media reported it and magnified it and made it into an issue and talked about the Me Too movement of sexual harassment of women.
I remember that.
But a man stabbed a woman in this park
And what happens?
and the media don't talk about it. Remember when those kids up in the north bullied a bully and poured water over his head,
I remember that.
and the media magnified it about the plight of refugees and their harassment? Well, a man attacked with a knife in this park,
And what happened?
and the media said nothing about it. Why?
Why, Bob? Why?
I'll tell you why.
Tell us, Bob!
Because she was a Christian, and a Christian critique of Islam. But for that reason, the media didn't want to report it. And they didn't want to report it
Why, Bob?
because what they are afraid of.
What are they afraid of, Bob?
They are afraid of highlighting Hatun's actions and then having riots in Bradford, Luton, Birmingham and East London.
They want to keep the peace.
They are willing to hide the attempted murder of a Christian who has done nothing wrong in this park because they don't want to have riots emerge from the Muslim community.
That's good.
That is what they are afraid of. And this tells us, the tools of manipulation that the media use to change the way we think. The way that they reported it on their website was essentially to shuffle it to the back of the media agenda so as little people as possible would find the story. That's one way they manipulate, because then they can say, oh, we reported it, we put it on the website. But they put it out of sight on the website. The second way that they manipulate us is how they frame the story. They frame the story as a woman being attacked who was wearing a Charlie Hebdo t-shirt. In other words, they hid the fact she was a Christian. They hid the fact that she was a critic of Islam, thus demonstrating the hypocrisy that the liberal media work by and work to. They frame the story to suit their own agenda. They've done it multiple times on multiple topics. The second wave that they manipulate the story is by what they magnify. So they magnify issues that suit their political agenda. So when it suited them to talk about that refugee boy who was bullied in a school in the north, it suited their pro-refugee agenda to talk about it. When they talk about the murder of that woman by the police officer to push the Me Too agenda, they do so because it suits their agenda. No, ladies and gentlemen, no, let us be clear. The reason why they did not want to frame this story is the same reason why they talked about the plight of Rohingya Muslims in Burma, but ignored the plight of Karen Christians in Burma. Who's heard of the Karen Christians in Burma? One person. Put your hand up if you heard of the Rohingya Muslims in Burma. 4 people. Why? Because the media magnify one story and ignore other stories. Because they want to push a narrative of Islamophobia, but they don't want to talk about Christophobia. So, in other words, if the victim of the crime is a Christian, the media don't want to talk about it. They don't care. So, as Christians, what must be our response? Our response must be...
And the Muslims.
Can I take a drink?
At least 5 other other people in that country that are persecuted by the government. The Karen Christians are just one.
To be aware and to educate our Christian community about the way the media manipulates the stories, about the way, for instance, they ignore the genocide of Nigerian and Sudanese Christians, or the plight of Pakistani and Egyptian Christians, or the plight of Filipino and Burmese Christians. We must educate ourselves about the way the media manipulate the story. We must, at every time and in every opportunity, call out the double standards of the media. Whenever you have the chance, call them out. We have to stop funding the media, the BBC, the Guardian, and the media liberal establishment. Don't put your money into them. We have to support Christian media outlets, and those media outlets like Russia Today and Great British News that talk about these kinds of stories. Move your money into the media outlets that are talking about the stories that are the concerns of the Christians, and have sympathy to the church. And finally, we must educate ourselves about the media establishment and about its anti-Christian agenda, and we must talk about it openly in our fellowships. Any questions?